Hey everybody, it's Hylian Alchemist, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. In the last episode, we were summoned by Princess Zelda to go rescue her from the depths of Hyrule Castle, and we escorted her to the Sanctuary. And in this episode, we're going to exit the Sanctuary, and now we're out in Hyrule Field. I'm going to give you a little moment to listen to this awesome music here. Man, I just gotta say here, I really do love this version, or this variation of the main Zelda theme. I mean, it's playing a lot of other Zelda games. I mean, it did debut in the first Zelda game, which does sound pretty cool, but this one I love so much. Although I gotta say though, I mean, there are a couple other variations of the Hyrule Field theme, or the main Zelda theme that I really do enjoy. Same thing goes with Link Between Worlds. I mean, it's more of an extended version. Like, you know, there's new there's new notes to that song, and it's just wonderful. So now we are in the Lost Woods, and yeah, that was a crow, and no special name for that enemy. It's just called a crow. If you get close to him, then he'll swoop down on. Well, okay, I should have just called it it, because there I go, assuming genders again, like I always do. It's one little reputation of mine. But anyway, yeah, you go near the crow that's standing on top of the tree, then it'll swoop down on you to attack you, but if you miss your attack, if you miss your chance, then it will fly away from the screen, and it will come back until you move away somewhere you exit the area that it was in. And by coming down this hole, we have just now collected a heart piece. If you collect 4 heart pieces, then you'll get an extra heart container. It's actually been a thing, like, since this game, though. Like, you know, in previous Zelda games, we would just get heart containers, but this is the first game where you just get heart pieces. Like, you just collect 4 each, and then you get that new heart container. And that was a mushroom we just got, which we will be, it's actually some kind of item that we'll be delivering to a certain someone, for some kind of item that will probably come in handy later on. And yeah, I didn't even mention this is the Lost Woods that we're in. We're only in there just for that heart piece, but we're gonna come back in there later on for something very important. And we just saw on the left as well was a thief. If that thief comes into contact with you, you will, not only will he knock out all of the items that you have, but he'll try to steal them as well, because, well, he's a thief. In this building right here, I didn't even come in there, but I want to go and tell you guys that this is the fortune teller's house. You know, since this game is it's pretty helpful, like, you know, not only do we have the map, but, like, it'll just tell you the destination where we need to go, but the fortune teller, if you talk to, well, not sure whether it's him or her, but talk to the fortune teller, then he'll tell you where you need to go next. Like, he'll just give you a hint on where your next location should be. So that's pretty helpful as well. And now we are in Kakariko Village, but we're actually inside that well. Which, again, there is another heart piece that's in there. And, of course, grab ourselves lots of rupees. And those are the bombs we just picked up. Bombs right here, just like in the previous Zelda game, where you can just, like, you know, you find some certain walls, and then you can just bomb them for them to open up new pathways, or just new openings. Unlike Zelda 1, though, in this game, there will be cracks on the walls, which we did see in the last episode, when we were in the Hyrule Castle sewers. Like, there were cracks on the wall. One thing very helpful about this game is that it's much more obvious to see, or obvious to tell, if there's a bombable wall. So if you see the cracks on them, then that is where you'll know that, they can bomb that wall. So it makes it easier to tell where there are walls to bomb, like that one right up there. Now, another thing you can actually find out where walls can be bombable is that You can actually try to, like, hold down the B button to, bring out your sword, and you tap the walls with a sword. And if you hear a difference in sound at one spot, then that's where another bombable wall, or one bombable wall will be. So that's another thing that, they should know about. I'm gonna go ahead and collect pick up a lot of rupees that are around here because, well, for one, we're gonna be needing, like, a shit ton of rupees. I'm not even kidding. For that one item that we're gonna be getting in a little while, or just in a little bit. And there's also some other item which is hella expensive, let me tell you. Now, even if you screw up in this room just by pushing the blocks, just to get a treasure chest, don't worry though, because once you leave the area and then come back, then the blocks will reset. Now, one thing that I kind of find a little bit annoying here is that, well, when it comes to pushing blocks, remember how in Pokemon or in later Zelda games such as Ocarina of Time, you can just push the blocks wherever you go? You can only do that one time. You can't push those. You can't push those again. You can only push them once, and they'll just stay in place. Which is kind of disappointing, I should say. Thankfully, though, Ocarina of Time fixed that, where we can just push blocks and like anywhere we want to. Although those particular blocks, you would just have to push them to certain areas in order to progress through the dungeons. Not necessarily for pushing out of the way, unless, if I remember correctly, there were some points where you just pushed some blocks out of the way, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Even though I played Ocarina of Time many times before, I've said time a couple of times, and I'm saying them a bunch of... Okay, never mind. Yeah, I played that a lot, and, you know, somehow I forgot some of the details. Yeah, I'm failing so epically. So that house was where the old man with a name which is kind of weird to pronounce. By the way, one of my commenters, and also by the way, one of my closest friends who I actually do know in real life, he suggested that I can go with. He came up with a name for the old man, in which I want to give a better name to. I'm gonna go with Heisenberg. Like, he suggested either Heisenberg or Walter. I kind of see what he did there. I see that Breaking Bad reference, so I'm gonna go with Heisenberg. So, Heisenberg it is. And yes, as you can see here, I talked to one of the villagers here in Kakariko Village, and for some reason, they're accusing Link of being the wanted thief who kidnapped Zelda. So yeah, if you actually go near them, then they will call the soldiers, and they will go right after your ass. Yeah, for some reason, in Kakariko Village, Link is the wanted man. Like, you'll take a look at the sign, and you can see Link's face on the wanted posters for some reason. Yes, they decided to pull a Super Mario Sunshine or Sonic Adventure 2, where they're just accusing the character for a crime that they've never committed. So, I don't know what the big deal is here. And this guy right here, like, if you go near him, he'll try to run away from you because we don't have a particular item that we'll be needing to catch him. So, anyway, I was going a little bit ahead of myself. So, Heisenberg was not at the house, which is where we're supposed to find him. Instead, his wife is there, and she'll just give us backstory about the Hylia and the Master Sword. Yeah, spoilers, there's a Master Sword somewhere, but of course that will be later. And what we just picked up was a magic bottle, or in later games they'll call it an empty bottle. And they are very useful a lot. Well, very much useful. You're going to want to, like, pick up as many, well, pick up all the empty bottles, because you can use those to store either potions or fairies, or anything else for that matter. And fairies I'll probably go over in a little bit, because we haven't encountered those yet. And this old dude right here is, talking about some sort of great fairy there. And I think well, we're probably going to go in this house right here. And there's this kid that we need to talk to, because he's going to give us an item. By the way, if you take a look right at this picture right here, you can see Mario's face on there. Yeah, there's a little cameo with Mario. How about that? And this kid right here will give you a bug catching net. with this thing, you can catch either bees or fairies, and you can just store them in a bottle, or one of your empty bottles. Now, I did just mention the bees here. In this, they are in this game, and the only way where you'll find them is that sometimes, as you slash the bushes, like sometimes not only will you get rupees, but other times you will run to soldiers, bees, and also landmines. Yeah, one thing I really, one thing that kind of annoys me about this game as well are the landmines. Like, you know, you never know when they'll appear. They always randomize. So you really do want to be careful as you're slashing the bushes just for rupee grinding. And here we are in the Quarreling Brothers' house. They are fighting for some reason, which we never actually find out why they were fighting. But that is actually a shortcut that we'll be taking because there's one minigame that we're going to be doing in a little bit, and that's for yet another heart piece that we're going to get. Yeah, they're going to make up with each other, but I am not sure if that's really going to happen. Maybe at some point they would. And by the way, here, yes, I'm going again with the music. This music here, the Kakariko Village theme, it's so peaceful. Like, oh my god, I love this music so much. I mean, I like the other variations of Kakariko Village, but oh my god, this is so peaceful. I'm sorry, but I can't help but just gush over the soundtrack in this game. It's such a lovely soundtrack. I love it so much. So anyway, what we did there, and look here, I barely made it, because, like, you're supposed to go through this maze in 15 seconds or less, or at least 15 seconds, in order to get that heart piece. I barely made it there. That was just exactly 15 seconds. That was such a close call. It really was. And I had to make a few attempts because at the other times I actually did fail at that maze game. So I had to make like some. I made some save points or just restore points just to like just make those attempts, and I actually made it this time. And yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that back there, but I guess you guys were. Yeah, so far we do have 2 of the magic bottles. The other one was from the merchant. I was going to talk about it beforehand, but then I realized that I already did just get the bottle from the merchant, and I did not pay attention at all. Hylian Alchemist fails so much. Fails so much at life. That's one thing why his life sucks so much. Because he always fails at it. It's rather sad. So I believe for now that is all we have to do in Kakariko Village. I'm pretty sure we'll probably come back there at some point for a couple other things that we might need. Actually, yeah, we'll probably come back to Kakariko Village for some other time. And what we have right here is well, more enemies I want to go over. That was a sand crab, and they hurt a lot. Like, well, as far as I remember correctly, they would take away, like, 2 units of your health. And also, if you try to go near them, then, yeah, that was a landmine that I just went over. Yeah, you want to be careful with those as you're trying to slash away the bushes, because you will, run into landmines or bees or soldiers. So yeah, by going near those sand crabs, they'll try to, like, move around pretty fast, and they're pretty hard to attack. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just give that mushroom to that witch, and she's gonna be making up some special some kind of special medicine or something, or some kind of special she's gonna brew up something that something that we'll get to later or in a little bit. And yeah, this is a potion shop. This is where you're gonna want some of these potions at some point, which of course I haven't gotten the chance to buy one of those. Yeah, the red potion will restore your hearts, the green potion will restore your magic, and the blue potion actually restores both. I always go for the blue potion as long as I have enough rupees. And so, since we gave the mushroom to the witch, now right here we have the bag of magic powder. We can sprinkle it on some enemies and something will happen. And that enemy that we just ran into, well, first I'm going to go ahead and pick up of the blue potion, and it looks like I was wrong beforehand. I actually did pick up one of the potions. Once again, I fail. But yeah, that green blob right there, that is a buzz blob. You really want to be careful, like, you don't want to slash them with your sword, because if you do, then they will electrocute you. And it will actually hurt. So, the only way to defeat them is that, you want to use a boomerang to stun them. Yeah, I didn't really explain what the boomerang did in the last episode. Well, I don't remember actually explaining them. Yeah, the boomerang will actually stun enemies, so you can use that to stun the buzz blob, and then you can attack him. And with the magic powder, we actually turn him into a kook man, and we can actually talk to him. He just told us the hint where Heisenberg would be. And of course, if you talk to another one of the villagers in Kakariko Village, they'll give you the location where Heisenberg's exact location. But I haven't done so. Not that it's actually required to do so, because even with that, we can still find him anyway. But yeah, like I said, I kind of felt that was weird to use his actual pronunciation, so yeah, like I said, we're gonna go for Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, because that's where my friend got it from. But it's something that I just like to go for, so from now on, he shall be called Heisenberg, so anyways, I do believe in the next episode, unless there's other optional stuff or other side quests that we will do, or other collectibles. If not, then I think in the next episode we're gonna go down to the eastern side of Hyrule, which is where we'll be tackling our first dungeon. I think, anyways, if I'm right. If not, then we'll just explain what we'll do in the next episode. But until then, I'll just assume that that's what we're gonna be doing in the next episode. So, till next time, see you guys later.